What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. It is Tuesday night when I'm filming this. I am here to talk about our anchor message for the week. We're a little behind in our usual programming schedule because of Yom Kippur falling on Sunday night through Monday. I had to abstain from work. And even though this is spiritual sharing and like sometimes mitzvahs cancel out mitzvahs, I just was feeling like I needed to really focus, and I just kept us all in my prayers. But it was really good. So on Rosh Hashanah, you sort of set the intention to clean the slate from the past and, clean the slate from the past year particularly. And then by Yom Kippur, you manifest like this new soul, and it's like sparkling and fresh and effervescent. And basically you're atoned for your wrongs and you are blessed with like this download of spiritual energy and miracles and blessings and good fortune for the year. Basically your fates are written, during that week. And it's called the 10 days of repentance. So it goes from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur when we do the fast and we restrict the body so that we have affinity with the light of the Creator, and then we get our new soul. And this is happening to everyone, whether you are like paying attention to this holiday or not. And so what we're in now, we're almost done talking about these things. This is like the busiest 2 months out of the year, I feel like, for the High Holy Holidays. So now we are in this week called Sukkot. And until Friday, so Friday starts Sukkot at sundown, another Shabbat holiday, pretty cray. And then Sukkot will be through Saturday at sundown. And so this week is all days associated with Sukkot. And basically, if you were watching last week, each day of the week is challenged by a different dimension of consciousness. Hold on, guess what? Chart is here. So these are the 10 dimensions of consciousness. And so these top 3 are the supernal triad. Those are so abstract that they were only happening during the most holy of the days. So this was Rosh Hashanah itself. This was the second and third day of Rosh Hashanah. And then through the 10 days of repentance, we were one day at a time tested by these different sphirot, these different dimensions of consciousness. And so on Monday, we were tested here. Tuesday, we were tested here. Thursday or Wednesday, we were tested here. And so depending on how well you did with these particular energies on that day, you were basically like wiring the infrastructure for the light to travel through your soul. It's basically like you were doing the electrical wiring so that the light could travel through efficiently, and we can channel light through without any blocks. And so basically the idea is that we want to channel the divine light through, and eventually it comes through here in Malchut. This is the physical realm. This is the material. This is the multiverse. It's not just our universe. It's the whole of physical, what we can see, hear, taste, smell, and touch. So this is when something is made manifest in the physical. This is thy kingdom come, right? So so on Yom Kippur, we had finally reached here, the countdown. It was like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off, new soul, right? Okay, so then we circle back through these lower 5, not the consciousness, but these more of the experiential dimensions, washing through that cycle one last time to kind of challenge us and bless us in each of these areas. We're building that infrastructure. We're building the strength. We're building, the embodiment. So we have to live it out. And so it's challenging. And also, we might have had a boost in these energies. If you want to learn more about the energies per day, I've been talking about them on my TikTok. And then I've been trying, if I have time, I've been uploading them to YouTube Shorts, but I have to break them down into like parts because YouTube Shorts are only a minute. So the key to Sukkot is that now we have our new soul. If we do well through this week and we stay in a high vibrational state, and we, even if you fall and short circuit, like, you can bounce back and be resilient and just finish the day strong, right? You got all day to correct your consciousness. And if you finish, it's how you finish that really matters. So don't give up on yourself. Okay, if you have a temper tantrum, or you like break down and cry, or you like think that you've lost hope about something, and then later you're like, no, I'm not gonna give up. Like, don't worry. Like, just finish the day strong, and no matter what, just be resilient and bounce back, and don't be too hard on yourself. Because the whole point is that, like, this is the visual, right? We've got all this light coming in from the creator, and the opponent, the female and the male Satan, are both like waiting to like grab all your light and steal it. And so the secret is that the male opponent comes and tricks you to doing making a mistake, right? And basically this mistake is a fall, and it allows you the opportunity, though, to learn from it, to make it right, to transform from the situation. And what that does is you take that light back from the Satan, and you like super turbocharge the power of that light, because you took something that could have been a mistake and you turned it around. You can't do this on purpose, though. You can't get into mistakes on purpose just so you can reveal the light. It has to be an accident. But the thing is, the feminine opponent, the feminine Satan, comes in, and she tries to take double the light back by making you feel bad about yourself, for making you feel shame, guilt. She makes you feel like you don't deserve. She makes you just resign yourself to despair. And that's when you lose that light, and the double goes to the other side, and like the scales, right? What was on the side of the light then gets pushed to the side of the dark. I would like to point out that my scales, I set them to even, and I made sure that like the crystals and things were pretty much like they're even on both sides when Rosh Hashanah started. And by the end of the ritual on Rosh Hashanah, it's like you're kind of waiting for the verdict to come back, and like the scales had tipped like just enough on the side of mercy. It's like mercy or judgment, where I was like, okay, like I got in, I skated in like by the hair of my teeth. And so then by the end of Yom Kippur, I noticed that the scales were definitely on the side of mercy, like significantly, like you can see them now. Like I really like shook the house down and did what I could to tip those scales. So that's thrilling. So this week, try your best to laugh, watch comedy, sing, dance, stay in a high vibe. Today, I started on, this inner self-talk. I hadn't even left the house. I hadn't even interacted with a person. And I just think of someone that like is like historically I have a difficult relationship with. And I started that whole dress rehearsing a conversation that doesn't even exist. It's never happened, won't ever happen, like in your mind. And then you start getting like shook and like flustered, like irritated with the person over it. And I just had to stop myself. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Change the channel. I don't even do this that much anymore. Like, what? So yeah, train your mind on something that keep yourself entertained. Don't let your mind wander off to the darkness, right? Idle hands are the devil's playground. So yeah, I was just like, what should I do? Should I like listen to a Kabbalah class? I was like, that's too serious. I don't want to have a whole serious year. So I was like, you know what, Cardi B. It's, she's got all the categories. She's funny. She's like witty. She's like upbeat. Makes you feel like confident, twerking ass, whatever. That's the kind of year I want to have. Okay, so let's get into the anchor message for the week. Now that we've been caught up on this week's assignment for the High Holy Holidays, and then you guys, after this week, we are just back to regular readings and no holidays to talk about until Hanukkah, probably. Okay, so we got the vision. We got the threshold. Again, this was here last week. So we're in this like portal, this like limbo, this like foyer into the new timeline. We're like jumping timelines, but it's like the most slow-mo jump ever. It's like we're like running through water and sand in like the cosmos. Okay, so threshold and stone. Now, like just before I pull out our clarification cards, I was just thinking like, yeah, I mean, we got our new soul on Yom Kippur. Rav Michael Berg was like, see if, like, ask the creator for a dream, for a vision of your life when you go to bed. And it's so funny because I did. And like waking up on Monday morning when I pulled these cards, it was like the vision. And I can't remember whether he said that on Monday or Sunday night, but like either way, it's like, ask the creator this week as you go to bed for a vision of your life, your life to come, this new you, a message for you, guidance for the year ahead. What's your immediate, priority to get set in the right direction. But yeah, this vision is awakening, I think, within our consciousness and in our soul and in our heart. And we're feeling pulled, in a certain direction, even if it's abstract, even if you can't quite put your finger on it, like you can feel it. You can feel something like circling the runway. Something's pushing against, your growth edge, and it's wanting to come in. And so, yeah, take some time this week to allow that vision to come forward, to reflect, do some meditation, do some mundane activities that allow yourself to just daydream while you have your hands kind of busy. And then, yeah, think about this, like this is our spiritual new year. And so, around December, end of December, early January, it's like everybody's kind of like setting their manifestations for the year and thinking about the year ahead and like what they kind of want to accomplish and their goals. It's like, that's what we are in now. It's a spiritual new year, except if you've been following this channel, this is the kind of new year. It's not even just a better year than last year. Like, this is the timeline jump that we've been talking about for like 2 years, where it's like life is like we're at a crossroads and we've got kind of a whole new chance to make a whole new life on our plate. And so 2022 is all about clearing the ground and, like laying new foundations so that we can build infrastructure on that. This year has been about, now that we've got our materials gathered, like starting to, integrate, starting to build, starting to actually be reborn as this new self. And it's like each month we've sort of had these like systems and things and parts of ourselves like coming online and downloading in like these upgrades and system, updates. But we've also been tested probably like more than ever, right? It's probably so polarized, the amount of growth, but also the amount of pressure and just maybe even just strangeness this year. So finally, after like the whole year, and now I'm remembering that in our 2022 predictions, I feel like we were like in creation phase 3, like over and over and over again through the whole year. It felt like nothing was going forward. Creation phase 3 is like when you're like in act 2 of the movie. I mean, you've been like driving in the desert forever. There's no telling, like you're so far in. There's no telling how far you have left to go. You're just like tired. You're like, what's something? I need something, anything. Oh my God. Signs of life. Something, a sign that I'm going in the right direction. And basically you've been putting in all the effort. You've like, you put your heart on the line and you said how you really felt and you like took the big risk and, and you put it all on the line. And this is the part of the movie where everything's supposed to be like, yeah, you made it. And instead it's like crickets, just void, no progress. Plateau, pause, and you're like, what is anything ever gonna, and I feel we're so close. And basically creation phase 3 is the initiation from the universe that's like, are you gonna settle? Are you gonna give up? Like, this is the final push to build the vessel that will give you the strength and grit and appreciation to maintain this manifestation that you want to call in. So this is the last little stretch of testing. And I mean, that's not true. We're always going to be tested, especially like when you're growing, like you jump out of the frying pan and into the fire. So there's always going to be tests, but we just become more resilient. They affect us less emotionally. We're just more emotionally sober and grounded and stable, and we're thrown off by less. We can bounce back. We can learn from it. We don't perceive these challenges the same way anymore. And so we suffer less, Maybe that there's still a challenge. There may even still be pain, but the suffering is much less when you can just like grit your teeth and bear it, face the thing head on, and like take action instead of avoiding things. Avoiding things like makes it, builds it up. So getting a vision about the year, we're moving through this threshold of this new life coming in, this new self, this new embodiment of self. Now, as we are sort of being reborn and brought online, and we're getting all our downloads, we're getting all our software downloaded for the year, and we're getting like RAM boosts and all that stuff during Sukkot, just after Sukkot. So we've got our full moon in Aries Friday, and just after that, I think we get a couple of weeks to catch our breath, and then we're in eclipse season. Psycho chaos, like spin cycle season, where whatever is left that's attached to us, that is not authentic to us, that is not really going forward with us into this new up-leveled version of ourselves, of our lives, like it is going to be pulled away or fall away naturally, but try to just allow that to happen. Because if we are determined to hold on to things that are not in our highest good and pull them along with us, they will get worse and worse and worse and more uncomfortable until next eclipse season, when you'll have crashing towers. My friend the other day said crashing towers, hidden dragons. I love that. It's like crouching tigers, hidden dragons. You will have crashing towers, hidden dragons. Like, eclipse season will be awful. Think back to April. How was your eclipse season? Or like, did you witness other people trying to like cling to the rocks, and like their eclipse season was like a nuclear blast, and they're like, I'm not going? That it was just like chaos and like a slow and painful death. That's what it's becoming like when you won't let go of things that aren't right anymore. They're not in alignment. It is going to be harder and harder and more difficult when those things need to be pulled away from your experience. So allow, let go, release. And then once you get past the chaos, things that are still there, things that come back, like it may or may not, you just have to gauge it. What's working? What's feeling good? What's feeling expansive? What is feeling toxic around you? What is draining you of your energy? What is giving you worry and making you fret and, causing you unrest? It's like those are probably the things that need to be let go of. Now, things that grow you do push you outside of your comfort zone, but like in positive ways, not in ways that make you feel like you're growing a tumor from it. So keep that in mind. So threshold, crossing the threshold, eclipse season is the threshold. So we are walking through that portal into the new timeline, and let's hope we're building our house upon the rock. The stone is here. So it's time to get grounded. We want steady, strong, even, level, clean foundations to build on. The wise man builds his house upon the rock. The rock is all that is eternal. What is eternal is unwavering, unchanging. It is love. It is creator force. It is the light. It is hope. It is faith. What is eternal is those life-changing moments that change you forever, or that you'll never forget, or like when you share simple love, or when you have a moment where you have a flash of like a lightning flash of revelation that just changes your consciousness and changes you forever. And it's like, wow, now that I know, I can't go back. Like I can only go forward from here, kind of thing. It's like, the internal work that we do on ourselves. Like when we die and leave this world, we're not taking our house with us. We're not taking our business accolades. We aren't, taking, it doesn't matter what kind of car we had. It doesn't matter what we accumulated. It doesn't matter if, what all of these physical things, right? What matters is like, what did you do on your soul? What work did you do to elevate your soul and your consciousness in this life? Because that's what you're taking that with you when you leave the body. That's what's left. So, and the process that we have here, like that's it. Like we don't get to elevate ourselves anymore once we die, at least not our soul, because we don't have the physical realm to do the process in. So like the spiritual realm, they're all like, you've got the best thing going out here. Like no matter how bad it is, at least you can elevate your consciousness, right? You can do the work here. Make it count. So the eternal, right? We're building our house on what is eternal, meaning when you lay down one day and you wake up and like your body's still laying there and your soul got up and you're like, whoa, I'm still all like flustered over this thing and I'm still, this about that. That's why so many religions pray to elevate the souls of those who have passed on for a certain amount of time, because it helps them get over the hump of whatever they didn't get to finish here. So this card even talks about at Jewish gravesides, instead of leaving flowers, they leave stones, which is so poignant because it's like, yes, stones stay. Stones carry on. Stones have everlasting life. They don't change. It takes them, lifetimes to erode away. Whereas a flower, it's dead the moment you pick it. And like when you put that on someone's grave, it's like, it's nice, it's pretty, it's sentimental, but it's so fleeting. It's already gone. There's nothing real about it. There's nothing sustaining. There's nothing, true. It's like we see this like physical world and we think it's so solid. We think it's so real. We think it's so true. And it isn't. It can change. It's so mutable. Read about the double particle slit experiment and just the fact that energy can be waves or particles depending on if someone is watching it or not. Just our mere observation can change the nature of the fabric of reality. It's pretty cray. Okay. So underneath vision, we've got 5 of Wands. What this is telling me is that we are still going to be challenged this week through Sukkot. We're going to be challenged every day for the rest of our lives. But we might have similar challenges that have been coming up over the last several weeks, because these might be the key challenges that we face in our lives through our patterns. So it's like now we're starting to get like the tools and the consciousness and the wisdom to be able to like kind of handle these and have intention and more wisdom and strategy about how we're proactively meeting our life and the challenges that present. We're not just in reactive consciousness anymore. We're not in a state of effect consciousness. We're adopting a state of cause consciousness. I think I misspoke yesterday in the reading or in the video, and I think I meant to say that we weren't in a state of cause consciousness, that we were being in a state of effect consciousness, but it's neither here nor there. But so this is about, instead of reacting to the challenges that life is presenting, it's like we're facing them with a really grounded mind and like an emotional sobriety. And we have like this like dispassionate analysis and this logic and reasoning that we're able to draw upon and take the steps necessary towards this life vision, and to be able to, discriminate what we're looking at and say, okay, is this in alignment with my life vision? Is this in alignment with my authenticity now? Or is it not? Like, do I need to redirect my energy, focus, and resources onto, what is in alignment with this vision? So another thing about Five of Wands, it's like, it's competing. It's competing energy. It's competitive. So we may be like rising above feeling threatened by like these threats in our life or challenges, or feeling like we're having to compete or like be in this rat race all the time. And instead it's like we're in it with ourselves and the creator now. And these, like, Five of Wands to me can also talk about like inner conflicting desires, where it's like you want something in your consciousness, but then in your subconscious, it's like you want a contradicting thing, or you're afraid that if you get the thing that you want, that it will somehow hurt you or hold you back or stifle you in some way. And so then the subconscious comes up with ways to sabotage or push away the thing that you're trying to call in. So examine what inner conflicting desires that you might have, or like, for instance, if you want to grow your business past a certain point and it's significant, you may be holding yourself back because you may think in order to grow your business, it might mean that you lose all your freedom, or that you are put in a bigger realm of risk financially and legally and things like that, or like having to expand your team. There's a lot of responsibility involved, especially when you have other people depending on you, right? So that could trigger your subconscious and your ego and your less expanded self and your limiting beliefs. And you could be like, oh, I can't do that. So then you might find yourself procrastinating or thinking, oh, I've tried everything and I can't grow my business. And it's really like you haven't really tried everything. You've just been like sort of like going through the motions in, ways where you haven't really tried everything. I catch myself doing this too. Like it took me way too long to start a TikTok, but that's because I was like, I don't know, I had so much energy going into this channel. It took me, a while to like get my sea legs there. But yeah, now I've done it, but it should, I should have done it before. I should not have procrastinated. I didn't think I was going to have enough time. I thought it was going to suck all the rest of my time, and it really has. I really don't have a lot of extra time, but it's worth it. It's helping me grow my YouTube channel, so it'll all be worth it in the end. But therein, you kind of understand the inner conflicting desire. If you want an intimate, committed relationship, but you're terrified of being hurt, you're terrified of really being vulnerable and opening your heart fully because you're assuming that you're going to be betrayed, then you're going to be non-committal, or you're going to be avoidant, right? And when things start feeling good and, and like intimacy is starting to bloom and there's peace, it's like you won't trust that because that's too scary. You've turned your back, and now something unexpected could happen, right? So that you might be avoidant or have intimacy issues. So things to examine. So we are overcoming these self-defeating tendencies, and we're starting to see things clearly now, and we're awakening to this greater vision. So crossing the threshold, at the center of it all, we have the Empress. And this is, I love that this was sort of in the central column. You'll see when, at the end of the video, the layout, it's like there's like this left column, right column, central column theme going on. That's what I was reading it as today. And it made sense because the central column here is like us crossing this threshold. And in the center is where we balance out like the masculine and the feminine side, the side of mercy and judgment, and all of these different dimensions of consciousness in chart, like we talked about earlier on the tree. It's all about balancing those, and the central column is when things are integrated and in balance, and then that's the column of consciousness. That's where we ascend in consciousness. So in the central column here, the Empress is the integration of divine masculine and divine feminine energy. The Empress has been able to take divinely inspired guidance and put it into action and create comfort and beauty and abundance around herself with that. She is the ruler over all the kingdoms in her life. They are all in good working order and functioning justly. In Hebrew, the word justice has to do with everyone. There's enough for everyone to go around, right? Fairness has to do with being everyone's provided for. Think of King Arthur, right? And Camelot. So yes, the Empress doesn't just have one kingdom. She has multiple kingdoms. So the Empress has self-mastery over emotions, over her willpower and drive and inner spirit, over her earthly kingdom and issues, the physical world that she has coming and going. Did I say emotional world? Oh, and the thought realm as well. Like she's got, a level head. She doesn't have like out of control mental chatter or anxiety. She's been able to train herself into mindfulness, right? And she knows mind over matter. So the Empress, and don't get caught up in gender. This is just the feminine expression of the divine masculine and feminine that have been integrated. So this can represent, any gender. Okay. So just notes on that though. I think that like we're starting to self-realize and come into our own as the Empress in this new embodiment of self. It's like we're up leveling. The face cards in the minor arcana, it's like representing our old struggles. We'll get to the other in a minute. And we have another face card that finishes us off. So it's like, it's speaking to this up level. I think it's assuring us that we are crossing a threshold where soon there will be fulfillment and abundance. Venus is associated with the Empress. So Venus is about security and beauty and love and money and, creating an environment that brings you pleasure and comfort and long-term security. And she's got this baby. Like the Empress is always pregnant. So the pregnancy is about all of that creative potential that she's nurturing, that she's actively nurturing. It's not just unrealized creative potential. It's things that she is bringing about and giving birth to. Okay, and then stone here with 5 of Pentacles. So this here, 5 of Pentacles in a way, because we just came out of Rosh Hashanah, it's about self-emptying. Like this girl here has been through a journey and she is empty. She is spiritually depleted. So in the traditional sense, 5 of Pentacles talks about being spiritually depleted. It could even be so much so that your money is suffering or that you have a physical ailment or an illness right now. But, and that could be the fact, like you could be soul tired right now. We've all come through so much this year and through life, through the last many years. And the past few weeks have been very intense, like culminating into these high holy holidays that just happen to be this big year where we're doing this huge timeline shift. So it's more intense than years in the past. So yes, you may be very soul tired right now. And we have just done in a positive way, this self-emptying, the releasing, the letting go of the ego, right? The dying away of that small self. And so now it's about turning to the wise man builds his house upon the rock, turning to the eternal, turning to the light, right? To fill the storehouse once more, to nurture the self, to fill the self up. Really gas up your soul this week by connecting to the light of the Creator in every way that you can. Prayer, meditation, studying Zohar or Torah or Bible, whatever you do, taking Kabbalah classes. Like I've been listening to Kabbalah classes. If you're interested in Kabbalah classes, but you haven't like signed up for any, a good way to get a taste of the material is on YouTube. There is a show called The Weekly Energy Boost, and I think it's on like maybe Kabbalah.com has their own YouTube channel, but I think maybe even Weekly Energy Boost may have their own YouTube channel, but I think it's on Kabbalah's YouTube channel, Kabbalah.com's YouTube channel. So look for Weekly Energy Boost, and they talk about the weekly energy that's going on every week. That's a good way to like, get a taste of Kabbalah, like the perspective of Kabbalah and how it applies, if you haven't signed up for any classes. But yes, so turning to source, turning to the light, turning to the creator, just going out by yourself and talking out loud to the creator, getting quiet and taking a bath, or like laying down and doing a meditation and just getting quiet and talk to the creator. Go on a walk and talk to the creator. Go on a jog and talk to the creator. Talk to the creator in your car. But tuning in to that light will fill you up in a way that's sustaining, and that is truly fulfilling. And that is something that we can turn to fill us up and validate us and fill us with light and love and inspiration and guidance. That's what we're supposed to turn to fill us up. When we turn to other people, when we think it's our job that's supposed to give us fulfillment and validation, or our accomplishments, or our material possessions, or even just fun adventures and experiences, those are all passing and fleeting highs. It's like, oh, it feels great for a minute, and then after it's passed, I'm back to my normal, depleted, like dissatisfied self, right? So turning to the light, turning to the stone, to what's solid, to what's eternal, to what is unchanging, unwavering, unbreakable. That is what you build your joy on. You build your peace on. You build your faith and your trust and your certainty, and you turn into that. You learn that feeling so that you can reference that feeling when you're trying to make decisions, right? And when you've felt that peace in that certainty in the light of the creator, and you trust even in the midst of not knowing what's going to happen, and you've experienced like something turning around miraculously, and it's like, oh, okay, once you get that feeling and you start to recognize it, that inner serenity, that inner peace, that inner trust, then when something feels off, it's in such contrast that it's such an obvious difference. So again, like, take care of your spiritual wealth right now. Take care of your spiritual health and wealth and well-being. Because at the finish of it all, underneath the Empress, underneath the threshold, we have the Magician. So our consciousness, this awakening, it's coming online. We have everything that we need to manifest this new self, this new life, to manifest this potential within us and to align with this like soul path. The purpose of the soul is really just to correct like the parts of ourselves that are like out of balance, right? We're just bringing those into balance. It's all about the process, right? So without our sin, without our mistakes, without our shortcomings, there's nothing to process. There's no process here. There's no reason to be on earth. So yeah, I mean, you've got everything that you need to manifest the life that you dream of, the life that will bring you into that purpose of being challenged and then revealing more light, and, being blessed and being, taking your talents and using them in a way that lights you up and lights others up, right? But the Magician, I just feel that like big things are happening. There's a lot of potential in the air, but it really is up to us to make the most of it, to draw upon, all this energy and then do something with it. So have confidence and certainty and just lightheartedness as you take action, and wait until you're really divinely inspired before you force anything along. Like, be consistent, take steps, be logical, and like make your plans and and initiate those plans. But pay attention to like divine inspiration, little pings inside of you. It's like this little hunch, like maybe I should go here and do this or that or whatever. And don't question it. Just follow that guidance when the timing feels right, right? Sometimes you'll get a hit, but it's not the right time. Feels off. Try to wait until it feels right and then go for it. All right, you guys, I am actually going to try to go ahead and do our manifestation video for tonight. So I will edit this and start uploading and then make our next video. Like this if you have enjoyed it, or if you're even still here. Comment, subscribe to the channel, please. I'd love to have you. You can find me at Liz_Taylor_Magick on TikTok. And then same, my Instagram links are below. And if you'd like to support this channel, thank you for recent donations. For those of you who have donated recently, I really appreciate it. It means so much. You may do so if you'd like. I have a Venmo link and a PayPal below. People have asked me about a Patreon, but I haven't done that yet. Just I haven't had time. All right. Ciao.